Hey, it's Haley. Did you think that the drama ended when I graduated from school? Huh, as if. Drama seems to have a way of finding me. When it came to my swing club friends, then our dreams took us in different directions. Anna and Kurt off to New York to further study the genres of music they loved, while me and Phil moved to the bright lights of LA and enrolled at college there. Being in LA was amazing, but hard work. Not only was it difficult trying to make it in the music industry, in a place where everyone else seemed to want to do the same thing, but I saw my ex-boyfriend Eric and the girl he left me for, Clara, everywhere. On billboards, in magazines, on TV, and so on. But anyway, luckily Phil managed to get us a couple of gigs in coffee shops and a couple of bars. We always gave it our best shot, even when the venue was mostly empty or full of drunks. We persevered, but it was hard work, and the money from gigs barely left me with any change after I'd paid for rent and expenses. Phil was making more money on the side by selling some of his songs, so he insisted on funding the majority of our work stuff. That made me feel so bad, but I had no other choice, so I could only try to work even harder, hoping I would soon be able to help out too, so Phil wouldn't have to carry the team by himself anymore. Then this one time, when we finished our set in this swanky lounge that we performed at every Thursday, the manager came over to us and said to me,
"Great show as usual, guys, but Haley, could you spice up your wardrobe a bit? You've been rotating the same 3 dresses for weeks now. I think our guests are finding it a little boring."
I was taken aback by this. It was so humiliating. I didn't know how to reply, so I forced a smile. Then Phil chimed in.
"Got it. Haley will be in a brand new dress next week."
This seemed to satisfy the manager, as he nodded at us, then left. I turned to Phil. "Why did you say that? We're going to record a new song next week, remember? I'm still saving money for the recording. How can I afford a dress?" Then Phil smiled and patted my shoulder.
"Don't worry, I've got it. I just received my royalty payment. Let's go to the mall, shall we?"
Then he dragged me along. I know Phil meant well, but to be honest, I felt really bad about it all. Phil was doing really well, while I was so low on funds, I couldn't even afford a new outfit without help from him. Jeez, when did I become so useless? As we walked to the mall, Phil bombarded me with questions about the type of dress I wanted. Did I want it long or short? Satin? Sequins? I couldn't feign enthusiasm, not when I felt so bummed out about it all. Sensing my mood, he asked,
"Hey, Haley, what's wrong? I said to not worry about money. I'll buy this for you."
I replied, "No, it's just, I feel so bad for you. I'm like some sort of burden weighing you down, while you obviously could do well on your own. I'll understand if you want to go solo." He was silent for a minute, but then he put his arm around me and said,
"I'm sorry, Haley. I never thought about it like that before. I don't pity you or anything. I'm helping you because you're my friend, okay? And I know you'd do the same for me."
I guess he had a point. Friends helped each other out. And of course, I would have done the same for him if the tables were turned. Then he said something I wasn't expecting to hear.
"Besides, those songs I've sold make me feel like I'm giving away a part of my soul. They're not what I want to write. They're purely to make money. Meanwhile, I collab with you because we have the same tastes. And your voice is awesome. Our time will come. I truly believe it."
Hearing his words lightened up my heart. I felt so grateful that I had Phil, and like him, I believed our work would pay off in the end. And it sure did. Our time did come, and much sooner than we expected. One late night, me and Phil were struggling to come up with the lyrics for a song in our studio. Well, to be exact, it's just a small corner in Phil's room. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Anna, and as soon as I picked up, she screamed, "Congrats! OMG, why didn't you tell me?" She was so loud, I held the phone away from my ear, then said, "Tell you what, Anna, calm down. You haven't heard your song, Memories. It's right here, on number 8 on iTunes chart. Check it out right now." Are you sure it's not someone else's song? Don't prank me. You know it's not a funny joke. Haley, will you just go and see for yourself? Phil quickly searched for it on his laptop, and turns out it's real. Wow, our song really was in the charts. We all screamed at the top of our lungs. It felt so amazing. Kurt's congratulation text came right after. I knew our plays count had been increasing, but I didn't imagine our names on the iTunes chart. This was just the beginning. Soon, loads of record labels got in contact with us, including some big ones. It was all so overwhelming. Everything happened all at once. But as thrilled as we were, me and Phil had to tell each other to keep cool and really think this through, because this was a big decision that would change our lives. After a lot of deliberation, we signed with Daystar Records. It's a small, newly established record label. Dean, the CEO, is quite young, but he's a talented man who had worked for many big labels, and we believe he understood our vision the most. We'd chosen to put passion first, over the ambition for instant money and fame. And our new beginning with Daystar immediately hit the news the day we signed the contract. Both our families and our friends from Swing Club flooded us with congratulation messages. Finally! Dreams do come true! I still couldn't believe this. The first day we actually went to work at Daystar Records as their artists, I kid you not, I literally skipped all the way there. Dean was waiting at the door to greet us. Then he showed us around and introduced us to everyone. Apart from different practice rooms, we were also given a small studio of our own. Now Phil had a place for his equipment and to properly produce his songs. Dean even got us some performance spots on a couple of TV shows and organized some interviews. These really helped our fan base to increase, and people started to recognize us in the street. It was so crazy. I was just a normal girl with a love of music. And now I had actual fans. Once, I was in the vocal booth practicing my lines when I heard a knock on the door. I opened it to see a member of staff was holding a huge bouquet of purple peonies, my favorite flower. I opened the card. Haley, like these flowers, you've bloomed. Please never forget how enchanting your voice is, and never let go of your dreams. I know you'll reach the top. I believe in you. I flipped the card over, but there was no name on it. Maybe they were from my mom, and she'd forgotten to put her name on them? Or maybe they were from a fan. Either way, I was deeply touched. I kept the card in my purse as a reminder to keep moving forward, for myself and for the people who were supporting and believing in me. The next few months whizzed by, and I was happy with where my life was going in the City of Angels. There was one thing bugging me, though. It was probably nothing, but Dean was making me a little on the uncomfortable side. It was small things, really, such as, if he knew I was in the practice room, he'd bring me coffee, and on the days I left work late, he'd text me asking if I got home okay. He even suggested getting a folding bed for the studio, so I could stay there if I wanted to. Yeah, I know, he was probably just being nice, but he's a married man. I just see him as a big brother. I felt really awkward and uncomfortable every time he acted like this around me. I didn't want to cross any line, so I thought it best to distance myself from him as much as possible. But then there was this album release party for an A-list singer, and Dean wanted me and Phil to tag along. This was huge! I knew a lot of other celebrities would be there, and this would be a great chance for us to expand our circle in the industry. I jumped in excitement and took Phil's arm. Oh my God, we have to... Then Phil spoke up to Dean. I think I'll pass. You should take Haley with you. I'm not into that kind of noisy party. Sorry. I'd rather go finish this song I'm working on. I'll send you the demo soon. Then Dean replied, I understand. I'm not too keen on these parties either, but it works for me, you know. Then he turned to me. I'll pick you up from here. Tomorrow at 8, okay? I was taken aback. No way. I wouldn't go if Phil didn't. I mean, it would be so awkward if just me and Dean went there. So I quickly replied, I don't think I can go either, as I just remembered I have an appointment tomorrow. I'll join you next time. I forced a smile. Dean stared at me for a second, with confusion in his eyes, before he said, Oh, that's such a pity. This could be a great chance for you guys. Tell me if you change your mind, okay? Then he left. Well, yeah, of course I had 0 appointments. and I was bummed out at missing the party. But I didn't feel comfortable around Dean. And, there probably will be another chance soon. But then later that day, when I was about to go home, I heard someone calling me from behind.
Haley, wait up! I have something to tell you.
Oh no, that sounded like Dean. Gosh, what did we have to talk about?